Iron is mainly used to make steel. It must be mixed with other elements such as carbon first though. Steel is used because it's cheaper and more durable than other metals such as copper. Iron and steel are mainly used for the constructions of buildings, automobiles, and railroads.
China, Japan, Russia, and the US are the top steel producers. Its current cost is about $12 a pound, or $6.70 for 100 grams. Iron is the most common element forming Earth's inner and outer core. Iron can be found all over the world in the form of rocks and minerals. To be economically viable for mining, iron ore has to have at least 20% iron.
Today I will be presenting Aluminum by George Cordall and Ishan McCarthy. Where do we get aluminum? Aluminum is generally found in bauxite, and it is usually strip mined because there is no overburden. How do we refine aluminum? Alumina is extracted from the bauxite ore by finely crushing it. You add it with sodium hydroxide and place it into a digester. The high temperatures in the digester makes the ore and the sodium hydroxide very hot, causing a reaction. The alumina is then evaporated off and condensed. What is alumina used for? Alumina is generally used for transportation, like auto parts, cars, and motorcycles. Also used for construction, with roofing, gutters, and sidewalls, and electrical products, like light bulbs.
Where do we get aluminum? Aluminum is a metal never found in its pure form, and usually people refine it. But most of the aluminum production in the world takes place in Australia, where there are huge aluminum mines. What properties make it suitable for its main use? Aluminum has several qualities that make it easier to use. For instance, it can form strong chemical bonds with oxygen, which is a beneficial trait to create some of its products. Also, since some of its ores have high melting points, the products that these ores produce are more refined. Aluminum costs 94 cents per pound in US currency. And is aluminum recyclable? Yes, aluminum is recyclable. In fact, there are some recycling cans that take aluminum cans only.
Copper by Mia Maliki.
Where do we get copper from? Well, copper is mined in the United States in Arizona, Utah, Montana, New Mexico, Nevada, and Michigan. And out of the United States, it's mined in Chile, Peru, Canada, South Central Africa, Russia, and parts of Europe. How is copper extracted from the ground and refined? First, it's mined from ores, then the ores are crushed, and then they're roasted to release the excess elements, and then the ores are refined and you have copper. What is copper used for? It's used for the production of industrial machinery and transportation vehicles, copper wiring, building and construction, power generation and transmission, as well as electronic product manufacturing.
What are the properties of copper? So copper is malleable and conducts electricity well, so it's good for wiring. It doesn't react with water, so it's also good for piping and weatherproofing on buildings. Copper in a refined state costs about $3 per pound. Copper is 100% recyclable, and more than 80% of copper ever mined is still used today.
Where do we find titanium? Titanium is extracted from its principal mineral ores by using the Kroll process or the Hunter process. Titanium is present in most indigenous rocks and sediments. Deposits of titanium exist in Western Australia, Canada, China, India, Mozambique, New Zealand, Norway, Ukraine, and South Africa. The Kroll process. The Kroll process is used to separate and concentrate raw materials. It's under the branch of pyrometallurgy, pyro meaning fire, which means that it extracts the titanium with thermal treatment.
What is titanium used for? Strong, lightweight alloys for aerospace, jet engines, missiles, spacecraft, military weaponry, industrial processes, chemical desalination, dental implants, sporting goods, jewelry, mobile phones, automotives, and medical prostheses. What properties make titanium suitable for these uses? It is highly resistant to corrosion, and it has the highest strength in proportion to weight ratio of any metal.
You literally have no time.
What is the cost of titanium? Titanium has an average selling price of $7.50 per kilogram, €5.66 per kilogram. And however, titanium is usually sold as an alloy, mixed with other metals. Some metals that are typically alloyed with titanium are iron, aluminum, vanadium, or molybdenum. Can titanium be recycled? Yes, it is fully recyclable. The scrap metal left over from its various uses are melted in furnaces. Titanium is one of the most ecologically friendly metals. Recycled titanium is valued at about $5 to $6 per pound.
Zinc by Izzy and Jose.
Where does zinc come from? Zinc comes from the natural deposits of ore from Earth's crust. Ore is a naturally occurring solid material from which a metal or valuable mineral can be profitably extracted. Some deposits are near the surface of Earth, in which they are mined from an open pit. 2/3 of the world's zinc production is from underground mining. The largest zinc mining regions are Latin America, China, Australia, North America, which is mainly Canada. And this is a picture of a zinc mine in Australia.
How is zinc refined? There are two ways of refining zinc. One way is smelting and the other way is the electrolytic method. The smelting refinery can only process 98.5% pure zinc, while the electrolytic method can obtain zinc 99.995% pure.
What is zinc used for? Mainly to galvanize, coat, steel in machinery, architecture, and more from corrosion. To make die casting molds, which are used to manufacture metal parts such as doorknobs, faucets, and much more. Zinc sheets can be used to make roofing and gutters. Zinc is used in batteries, and pennies are made out of zinc coated in copper.
What properties make it suitable for its main use? Zinc is used for galvanization mainly because it resists well to corrosion. It reacts with oxygen and then carbon to form zinc carbonate, which protects the iron of the steel underneath from rusting. Zinc is also inexpensive and very easy to apply to steel.
How much does zinc cost? Does it get recycled? Pure zinc costs about $3.70 per kilogram, but in bulk it is impure and only costs 12 cents per kilogram. Yes, about 80% of recyclable zinc is recycled, including scrap metal from production and zinc products that are no longer needed.